Hey guys, Kane here. I've got another 1v1 for you. This time it's going to be between Shadowfury333 here in the red trunks in the northeast corner with the Recon Commander and DeinFreund in the green trunks with the Cloakybot Factory in the southwest. Should be a pretty interesting game. It's been kind of thin the last few days as far as 1v1 games being played, so I had to dig back into the archives a bit. This game's from 8 days ago or something like that, I believe. So it's a little bit old, but still should be a pretty good one. It should be fairly evenly matched as well. DeinFreund at 1661. Shadowfury at 1529 whenever this was played, just about a week ago like I mentioned. So yeah, should see some good play. Looks like it's going to be a Cloakybot mirror here. A couple of glaives coming out from Shadowfury333 and then the same from DeinFreund as well. We also see the Gremlin coming out to scout as well, but it might get picked up by the glaive. Ooh, just barely evades it. Excellent work. So this glaive is going to be retreating back, and after the glaives, we're going to see a constructor from each player. Shadowfury is going to be heading directly back into glaives. It looks like DeinFreund is actually going to be rushing a warrior to try and preempt the raider game. I'm not sure if he thinks that Shadowfury is going to have an advantage in that respect, or if he's just looking to, I guess, sort of pull a trick here. It'll be interesting to see. This is a pretty large map, so by building warrior, you're giving up quite a bit of map control. You can see here there's quite a few mechs over on the eastern side that DeinFreund is going to have to capture, and he's in sort of like a hard to get to spot. I'm not really sure why he started here in the first place, but it looks like both players chose to do so. It's pretty common to see people sometimes spawn on this plateau and the opposite one on the other side. Just well, it seems to me a bit easier to defend. You only have two approaches. It's further back, it's more centrally located. Shadowfury is going to be pressing the issue here against a couple of glaives supported by the commander, heading over to the east to get out of the engagement, which is definitely the right call here. Looks like we do have the Gremlin poking around just outside of Shadowfury's base, scatting around with a glaive. He might actually be suspecting a Gremlin. No, just getting lucky and rallying his troops nearby. These glaives are going to be hooking around to the southeast, looking for a base here in the standard location. Not going to find one. It'll be interesting to see, do they head out east or nope, they're going to continue heading west. Has a pretty good inclination that the base is over here, which makes sense since all of the units came out from this direction as well. So they'll be heading around the back here to raid this out. In a position to do a pretty good job. Gonna have a little bit of trouble with the LLT, but can probably drive by this mechs right here. Interestingly, not a mechs here to be raided out, which is probably the first place Shadowfury would look. He's gonna try and dive the LLT. Not sure it's going to work out. His two glaives here getting sort of cornered in. Will this last one take out the LLT? No, it doesn't look like it. So, or actually, yeah, it does. So this glaive has pretty much free reign of the base, at least for the moment. I would definitely hit the constructor first, and then this metal extractor here. And then this constructor as well. Then I would try to shut down the factory, and well, I mean, if you micro this glaive well, you can essentially win the game. Looks like DeinFreund isn't reacting to this at all. Once Shadowfury takes out this last metal extractor, he'll actually have 0 metal coming in, if I am reading all of this correctly. It still shows 7 metal coming in for the moment. Not sure exactly where that's coming from, but he shouldn't have any metal production left over because not even one complete metal extractor. Oh, of course, it's going to have some income from his commander, I forgot. We are seeing a good raid coming out from DeinFreund as well. A couple of glaives sneaking in the back of this base as well. Able to take out a couple of the metal extractors, but ultimately Shadowfury is in a much better position than DeinFreund. Also has a sizable military out on the field, which DeinFreund certainly does not. Only has his commander and the warrior. At the same time, his base completely undefended. Not sure what happened to this glaive down here. Probably a couple glaives coming out of the factory. Were able to take it out. Wasn't able to take down this metal extractor either, which would have been a great big win if he had taken that out. Would have left him with just the commander income. So effectively restarting the game, which would certainly be great for Shadowfury. He's been expanding pretty aggressively the entire time. I see 4 constructors up. He's definitely going to take advantage of the fact that he has a massive military advantage here. This warrior's going to be pushing forward, apparently trying to pressure the base. I'm not sure it's the best decision. Should probably hang back with the commander. Probably try to regroup back to the base, rebuild these metal extractors as fast as possible. We do see the constructor coming up from DeinFreund, trying to rebuild as quickly as he can, but I mean, that's just not a great start. That was an excellent initial raid here. This warrior's going to be making contact, taking out everything it is fortunate enough to come across, so won't have any trouble dealing with these glaives either. At the same time, Shadowfury has a line of glaives here as well. It's threatening to come into this base like pretty powerfully, but there is a warrior here to defend it, and it looks like this glaives will be running in just perfectly for the warrior to take them out one by one. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 5. Oh boy, almost 6 glaives going down to that warrior. So it certainly made cost. At the same time, another warrior hanging around the back, able to shut down all of the energy here around Shadowfury's base. You can see they walled himself in with solar collectors, which, like I mentioned, is becoming much more popular. One glaive getting dug in here. Not quite able to take out the glaive that's under construction, so probably going down right here. There we go. But otherwise, got the ability to take a few free shots on that factory. Looks like this commander's finally going to be paying attention to the warrior. It does go down in the end, but did deal quite a bit of damage, took out almost all of them. Solar Collectors on the western side here. Ultimately, still putting Shadow Fury in a very good position over DeinFreund, who has yet to rebuild very well. He doesn't have any constructors out on the field. Tons of reclaiming in space, but nothing to use it with. So unfortunately, it looks like this game is just about over for him. Although, of course, I'm not really sure that that's the case, but it's definitely my best estimation of the situation. Shadow Fury is able to continue expanding out to the west here with the constructors, pretty much untouched at the moment. Not anything really on the field to pressure him. Whatever military DeinFreund has managed to conjure up is apparently going to be used to suicide into Shadow Fury's main base, and I just really don't agree with this. There's a much more vulnerable patch of metal extractors out here to be raided out, which is very frequently the case. If you've been watching my casts recently, typically people will be throwing away raiders in places where it doesn't really make sense, especially when you look over here on the east side where there's a constructor and 4 metal extractors and nothing to defend any of it. And then on the west side there's a defender here with a few metal extractors, but instead we're seeing the glaives charge directly in the heart of the base, which has a commander to defend it, and of course a factory producing units and LLT, and only 3 metal extractors to destroy. That commander was in a pretty bad situation, has the caretakers here to repair it though, and Shadow Fury being so far in the lead at this point, really not much threat of DeinFreund coming to take that away from him. As long as Shadow Fury continues to expand, I mean, look, DeinFreund isn't even taking advantage or even scouting the rest of the map, looking for the rapid expansion from Shadow Fury, which, he has to expect. There's such a military advantage that, of course, Shadow Fury is going to be either expanding or steamrolling him, and he hasn't been steamrolled, so Shadow Fury must be expanding. That is indeed the case. He's not going to be checking or raiding that out, which is unfortunate because he could actually get himself back in this game with a few well-targeted raids. But even so, there's so many other things he's falling behind, and he hasn't rebuilt his metal extractors in his home base. He's just now started reclaiming, which is letting him, bring out a few glaives, but these glaives are so well countered now by the warriors. 2 out directly in front of the position here from DeinFreund, so not many glaives going to get through this bottleneck at all. We're also seeing some Rockos here to counter whatever warriors might come up from DeinFreund's end, but like I mentioned, he's not doing too well to gain momentum to get back into the game here, so it should just be Shadow Fury holding out for a few more minutes until DeinFreund either gives up or gets steamrolled. Glaives now coming in from DeinFreund, finally going to raid around to the east side, something I've been pointing out he should do for a while now. Looks like he is going to get at least one of these metal extractors for free. No, actually he's just running right by. That's really unfortunate because it's absolutely a good pickup. There we go, coming back to take care of it now. He's looks like he's just going to be heading through the back door here along the east side. At the same time, there is an engagement over here in the central area. It looks like it's going to be held at bay, so Shadow Fury won't be able to reach the commander of DeinFreund quite yet. These glaives come in, trying to do basically the same thing that it did last time, but not much luck, I think. No metal extractor in the back here to raid out. This one's well defended by the LLT. They could take it out, but they take pretty heavy casualties. Going to instead be satisfied with position close and a few solar collectors and trying to make Shadow Fury sweat a bit about his commander, but not much danger really. Oh, actually no, the commander does go down. I read that completely wrong. So yeah, the commander does go down. Not the biggest deal. Once again, it's the economy here from Shadow Fury is just so overwhelming. He's able to just look at this, stream out warriors. There's 4 warriors and 2 Rockos. That is more than enough to storm this position, kill the commander, and effectively end the game. Because it will leave DeinFreund with effectively just a factory. So, yep, not much going on here. Just waiting for DeinFreund to realize that the jig is up. Shadow Fury at this point is beginning to push forward. Looks like he wants to end the game quickly as well. You definitely don't want to give your opponent any chance to recover. For all Shadow Fury knows, DeinFreund could have actually expanded out to these other metal spots, but he's just very fortunate that he hasn't. Shadow Fury hadn't been doing much raiding of his own other than pressuring the center position here, trying to get at this commander because, it's reasonable to believe that this is the key to making DeinFreund resign. Continuing to put the pressure on, and DeinFreund, at this point, just poor game sense to realize that, or not to realize that this is over yet. Economically, we're at now triple the income. Wow. After some more raiding goes on and the reclaim stops, DeinFreund just has 6 metal per second coming in, 1 metal extractor, and then the income from his commander. So, not a great position. Really unfortunate he hadn't resigned yet. It's probably going to draw it out a bit, but at this point I'm secure. Just fast forwarding because DeinFreund's definitely not going to make a comeback. Yeah, we can see that Shadow Fury just keeps slow pushing. He actually can hang around this backside here, completely evade the military, build some glaives to drive back the Rockos to hold off the offensive. I mean, certainly GG there. A couple of vital constructors, really not expanding as much as he could. Shadowfury333, because, well, I feel like he had a lot more room here than he'd actually used up. DeinFreund, wow, took it all the way. Usually better to resign once you know you're beat, but that's the way it was played out. So anyway, pretty interesting game. Pretty easy victory there for Shadowfury. Basically, DeinFreund was much too myopic in his execution here. He didn't expand at all. I mean, look at this. These two spots here, these two groups of 3 metal extractor spots, were never touched at all. He didn't even send a constructor out here, or even a glaive, I think, to scout it. I mean, Shadowfury could have come around and taken those for all he cared. Then there's, of course, the Stone of Reclaim in the center here, and all the reclaim at the base, and the failure to rebuild after he was raided out. I mean, that didn't have to be game-ending, but it should have just slowed DeinFreund down a bit, put him on the defensive, and caused him to expand, focus on the economy a bit more. But it's not what we saw, and ultimately a well-executed victory by Shadowfury. Interesting game, both players, and hope you enjoyed that. If there's anything I missed or anything the players could have done better, let me know in the comments. Other than that, I'll catch you guys next time.